This is the Segovia Show.
Hey everyone, it's Andres, and I'm doing a unplanned tech episode because I want to talk about some exciting features that Gab introduced for. I think they're for Pro members. I'm not entirely sure. I have to double check that. But what I can say is that there are features I'm going to highlight here that are only available for Pro. And so Gab's going to see this first before everybody else sees it, because if you're not on Gab, then this is not really going to matter to you. Here's my Gab social. I don't follow that many accounts because I only follow those that are not available elsewhere and that I want to interact with. And when it comes to news items, there's the news items are basically spread out, or accounts are spread out across multiple different platforms. And I hate having to follow each of them on every single one of them. So for now, I relegated the Parler to follow a lot of them because there's a lot more news sources there. So basically, Parler is like a news feed to me, and that's one of the main reasons I keep going back to it. But it clutters with timeline, so I can't see the users, and that's kind of been the same thing here, which is why I unfollowed those news channels here on Gab. I try to use Gab Deck to kind of solve that problem. But the feature I wanted to highlight is feeds. Feeds changed that for me. I set up my feeds over the weekend. And last night I even made one more. So now I have 3 feeds. These are all private. I have news feeds, political figures, and satire. Because why not? We all need to laugh. So I got these all together, and then cool. I still need to go to the feeds to be able to see them. So if I click on news feeds, for example, they'll pop up like this, and every single news feed that I want to see. And Tom Brady, no, you're retired. So like the news feeds, whatever is the latest update, these are algorithms that I build for what I want to see and how I want to see them. So that is really cool. I love it. I created 3, but I felt like, well, am I fragmenting my activity here? Because this is my main feed of the ones that I follow. And then there's the feeds section. Then there's the deck. Gab Deck that's available for Pro members that you can't see unless you hit more, and then you get to Gab Deck. So when I click there, for those of you that follow me on the socials know that every now and then I'll post up a screenshot of what my latest Gab Deck looks like. I rotate it every now and then. So what I decided to do, because I wanted to film this, I erased all my columns, and by default, this is what would show up when you first pull it up. So you have Compose, Explore, and News. You don't have to remove any of them, because as soon as you hit the plus sign, these are the type of columns you can add. You can add up to 5. So you can add a user, notifications, list, likes, bookmarks, pro timeline, compose, group timeline, hashtags, explore, news, which are 3 of some of these already, what you see by default. But in my case, when I saw list, I remember seeing list before. Maybe I'm just imagining it, because last night when I clicked on it, I saw my feeds and oh, no way. So now there's a centralized place where I could see and do everything. So I'm going to build this for you, my 5 columns, how I want them. Newsfeed. So my newsfeed that I just showed you that I created, the new thing that Andrew Torba announced on Tim IRL. So here it is. This is the one I built. It won't say the name. I think there's a decoded name instead of what listed is, but I know what listed is. So it's there. Awesome. Okay. And the next one up that I wanted was a user, because I left out one account from, oh my goodness, yeah, that's right. I have to hit this. One of the accounts that I follow, and I'm glad this happened, I want to show you. One of the accounts that I included on the list that I ended up taking out was NTD News. I think they're the umbrella company of the Epoch Times or whatever, but they're constantly reposting all the other accounts on it. So I was like, dude, this is cluttering. But they do also do their own original posts. So I'm like, well, I guess one way to stay with it is to do this. Did you see? I typed in NTD and it pulled up NTD News first, and then I didn't press the plus sign. So if you're adding your Gab Deck, be careful with it, because I don't know, that's one of the bugs. This is the thing that happens with feeds, and it happens with Gab Deck, that when you type in, you better know the username, because if you just know a few, then when you try to click, as soon as you hit plus, it might settle and reactualize, and you'll end up hitting the wrong account to add it. Then you got to remove it, and there's a lag time between those. So it's a little annoying, but I gotten used to how to do the workarounds, which is why I didn't immediately click on NTD News, because then when you saw NTD News disappeared altogether. I don't know where it went. The most popular ones are the ones that popped up first. Maybe because NTD News itself isn't verified. I don't know. Whatever. The point is, NTD News was the next one. So now I'm going to add another list of mine, which is satire, because I got to laugh. I can't just stay serious all the time. And one more user, that would be Andrew Torba himself. I don't follow him, but now I have a way to stay up to date with some of the stuff that he's posting up. So I typed in his full name, there it shows up, even though because you type A, it's just going to pull up the whole world. So I said 5 columns in order for me to stay here, not to move out of here, because, well, where else is there for me to go? I don't get my notifications. Oh, wait, yes, I can. So my notifications are here. You can follow hashtag or your notifications. So there it is. I have 2 lists, 2 users, and my notifications on Gab Deck. This is my superpower. I don't have to go anywhere. And here's a shortcut to your messages, and you can hit the light bulb so you can be switching the theme of your browser and things. So there it is. You can do it all from here. You don't have to go anywhere else. And that's what I absolutely love, because this is a feature set that I've loved and missed when I used to use multiple accounts on Twitter. And I've always enjoyed this about Gab, but now it's quite literally my superpower. This is what it keeps me coming back to use the social aspect of things even more. I would just wish there was, I guess the one last thing would be somehow in some way integrate Gap TV, but that's a little too much. So I have a separate window for Gap TV, but the point is, this is here. It doesn't interfere with anything else. It's everything I need to see. And it's awesome. Like, what about the compose window? The pencil's right there, and you can do the search for other accounts from here too. So you don't have to go anywhere else. Everything is here. That's what makes it so cool. So you hit that, and then it throws you out. But the point is that you can refresh these columns individually or as a whole. So each of them would have like a refresh next to the delete. So be careful with that. But there's also this thing here where you can adjust or move the no, you can't adjust the columns. You can move the position of the columns. So let me move it over here. I don't know why there's so much lag right now on the thing, but well, there it is. Point is that you can do this. And if it was responding a lot more quicker, it'd probably do a lot faster. But anyway, point is that this is awesome. And it's only available for Gap Pro members. So if you've been on the wings about it, this is probably a reason that you might want to get it, because this kind of stuff, man, that's hard to make. And dude, seriously, hats off to the engineers at Gab. This it's like Christmas all over again. I'm like, man, everything in one place. This is my latest Gab deck. I'm excited to share it with you all. I hope you give it a shot if you haven't done so already. And who knows, maybe even consider becoming pro just so you can get this. But remember, after you become pro, most pro members don't even know because they don't see it on the list. You have to go to more. And there it is. The only thing is that I wish I was able to just launch the Gab deck when I'm up in social. I can't do that. But there it is. Anywho, that's it for this one. Thank you so very much for watching. Check out my stuff at www.segovia.com and my locals community, where I do exclusive stuff because, well, I can there. The infrastructure allows me. Those links are available on my Gap social. That's the two I want to share with you guys. And that's it for this one. Cheers to you. And thank you, Tom. I'll see you in the next one.